reality of creating a creative community or trying to hold space for a creative community is that for me in the beginning, when I went into it, I was very like left-wing and like we're gonna make all this change, and then I slowly started realizing that I do have to interact with the institutions that exist, whether it's to apply for funding. I still have to adhere to some kind of agenda. We do have to interact with these institutions and with these companies and with these people that maybe otherwise don't appreciate or undervalue creative work, and show them that it's a very valuable thing and show them that they need it.
Do you not feel like one almost needs to participate in the status quo or work with the status quo in order to find a means of working against the grain down the line? Because at the end of the day, a structure is in place for better or for worse. A friend of mine called it the game, you know, and you play the game that already exists.
To touch on what you said actually is very interesting, because I think there's a big problem with how we measure the value of creativity. We're using the same KPIs, you know, cost effectiveness, efficiency, speed.
Absolutely.
Are these really the KPIs with which we want to build healthy, durable, sustainable systems to measure creativity? Clients are sitting there like super happy because they don't have to pay for all the, you know, protection and insurance and whatever, and you're very disposable, and at the same time you're driving down, you are doing the work. We are all driving down the value, so we're fighting for scraps.
Yeah. I think that's a huge challenge that we have. The culture, or the lack of understanding and the lack of education and culture that we have around monetizing in business, right?
And monetizing your intangibles. What happens is when you get out into the freelance or independent industry, you see that there's no framework put there to protect you. So traditionally it's the company that gives you health insurance, medical, whatever you need. You're alone. If a client doesn't pay you, there's no bad debt collector. There's no bank caters to the individual.
People, freelancers, designers, whoever, copywriters are putting out fantastic work, but not seeing much in return for it still at massive scales, where you're selling an account for £4 million at a corporate level, and you're paying graphic designers £4,000 or £5,000 a month.
Yeah. It's good for your portfolio.
Yeah, I'm like, khalas, you know.
Exposure. One of my biggest insecurities before embarking on this journey as a leader, if you will, was kind of letting go of my baby, you know, at the end of the day, and kind of letting go of these ideas and empowering people to run with it and do their own thing and come on board in their own capacity.
Yeah, that's something I still struggle with, to be honest. Yeah.
Micromanagement, patience first and foremost with yourself, above the team or beyond just the team, but really also kind of finding that solid footing and deciding, hey, this is what will work, or this is the direction to go. Initially is a struggle because you're trying so many things and everyone has these fantastic ideas, but there are only 24 hours in a day. So
we all started with an idea, but the project, obviously, once you're on ground, you have to accept that things will change, the nature of it will change. And actually, just once I've accepted it and started reading what's in front of me, trying to analyze and being like, okay, this is why this model works better than that, it's become much easier. But that's the reality of it. It changes every other month.
It comes with the perfectionists in all of us, I'm sure, as well. You don't want to tarnish the blank paper, and then once you've started writing on that blank paper, you want it to be perfect, but it's not going to end up
beyond perfect. It changes. I think the nature of like things change in creative and independent work, especially that we're doing. The direction will have to change, whether it's because you're giving it to someone else, which is amazing, or because that's actually how things work. Especially with what's happening in our country at the moment, certain things we can't be doing anymore.
But also, especially in the fact of building communities. So the whole point is to empower a community, right? And so you start the project and you have to be there to direct first. It's like even like in a small production, you take a small shoot, everyone comes, and without the team and without everyone co-creating, it will not be like this. And what it looks like is not exactly what was initially thought, but you need someone to, still the guy of the orchestra, what is he called?
Oh yeah, the Maestro.
Yes, thank you. It's so amazing to have you guys here and to talk to you guys, because you guys are part of this solution that is actually, I don't want to use big words, but it really does feel like a global phenomenon. Creativity is one of the most fundamental human defining aspects and qualities that there are, literally the only requirement for creation. To think in itself is a creative act. And this has been pieced apart, measured, organized into boxes within boxes that has only managed to stifle its true value and potential. The thing is that there is no one-size-fits-all solution. There are thousands of different ways to reach the same outcome. It's not what you do, it's how. And this is what we are slowly starting to discover together, that in order to find something that's truly win-win, it actually has to be win-win. And this is what these communities and collectives are trying to do. And we are all slowly coming to the same conclusion. We are trying to find ways to authentically express who we are, to find roads and different paths that will lead to self-fulfillment. The world that I'm looking at today is not the world that I was looking at 5 years ago. When we're looking at individuals, people are openly sharing, people are smiling, people are uplifting each other, people are inspiring each other more and more. Whereas before it was inspiration, but we were guarding, we were trying to preserve ourselves. We were thinking that in order for us to survive, we have to contain, we have to hide, we have to protect. And that's actually the little spark of change. Everything has changed, and it's only the beginning.